Once upon a time, in a vast and silent desert where golden dunes stretched far beyond the horizon, there lived a man named Ashar. He was a scribe, a man of ink and parchment, who spent his days copying words from texts that were not his own. Yet, for all that he wrote, Ashar's heart was empty. His days felt hollow, his purpose unclear, and he had grown weary of life's monotony. And so, one day, Ashar set out on a solitary journey into the desert, hoping that the endless sands might offer the answers he sought. For days, the desert tested his resolve. The sun blazed ruthlessly by day, and the cold crept in with the night. But on the 8th day, as his strength faltered and his hope began to wane, something extraordinary happened. Ashar's footsteps slowed as his eyes caught a silver glint beneath the sand. Intrigued, he knelt down, dusting away the grains to reveal an old and weathered chest. Its edges were bound by rusted iron, and its top bore strange, ancient runes that whispered of mystery. With trembling hands, Ashar opened the chest. Inside was a scroll enclosed in a crystal casing that seemed to glow faintly, as though it held the last remnants of twilight. On its surface, a warning was etched in a language older than time itself. Ashar squinted, carefully translating the words aloud. The scroll holds fire, life, and truth. Be warned, for not all who touch its words return unchanged. The air around him grew heavy. A chill ran down his spine, but Ashar's curiosity was stronger than his caution. Slowly he broke the casing. The moment the scroll was freed, fiery glyphs sprang to life, dancing in the air like living flames. The words rearranged themselves, forming a message meant for him and him alone. To find what you seek, you must find what you fear. Follow the rising phoenix. It knows your heart. The dunes beneath Ashar's feet began to tremble. The sands shifted and swirled, as though the desert itself was waking. And then from the horizon, he saw it. A magnificent phoenix erupted into the sky, its wings ablaze with golden flames, trailing sparks as it soared. Its haunting cry echoed through the desert, calling him forward. Without hesitation, Ashar followed. The phoenix led Ashar far, far beyond the known reaches of the desert, deep into the valley of forgotten echoes. There, amidst jagged cliffs and towering shadows, the bird descended into the depths of a dark canyon. Ashar followed in its wake, climbing down rocky paths that tested his courage. At the bottom, he discovered a temple carved into the canyon walls. Its ancient stones were decorated with carvings of phoenixes, scribes, warriors, and kings, each holding scrolls like the one Ashar carried. He stepped inside and the air grew still. A voice, soft yet commanding, filled the chamber. You seek transformation, but to rise anew, you must first face the shadows of your past. Ashar barely had time to take a breath before the chamber began to change. The carvings on the walls twisted, melting into shadowy figures that stepped forward. Each one bore Ashar's face. These were not ordinary figures. They were reminders of everything Ashar wished to forget. You abandoned your family for selfish pursuits, one shadow hissed. Your fears have held you prisoner, whispered another. You squandered your talent because you chose comfort over courage, accused a third. The shadows circled him, their words piercing his heart. He felt the weight of his failures pressing down, forcing him to his knees. But deep within, a flicker of resolve sparked. His voice trembled as he shouted back, Yes, I have failed. I have stumbled, but I am not those mistakes. I am here. I am more than my past. His words rang out, echoing through the chamber. The shadows faltered, wavering like smoke dispersing in the breeze. And then the phoenix appeared once more, its flames chasing away the last of the darkness. The phoenix spread its wings and flew upward through an opening in the temple ceiling. Ashar followed, climbing a narrow staircase until he reached a wide plateau overlooking the endless desert under the first light of dawn. The phoenix hovered mid-air, its brilliant eyes gazing down at him. For a moment, all was silent. Then the scroll in Ashar's hands began to glow again, and new words appeared across its surface. "What will you sacrifice to rise anew?" Ashar's heart pounded. He looked inside himself and saw the answer clearly. He had carried the weight of his failures, his fears, and his self-loathing for too long. These burdens had bound him, but now they no longer served him. With trembling hands, he knelt and placed the scroll on the ground. Slowly he spoke, "I release my past. I release my guilt. I will no longer be a prisoner of who I was." The phoenix cried out, its wings flaring with a radiant light that engulfed Ashar. For a moment, he felt the unbearable heat of flames licking at his skin, but the fire did not burn him. Instead, it cleansed him, washing away the fear, the pain, and the doubt. When the light faded, Ashar stood taller, lighter, and freer than he had been in years. The phoenix circled him once before soaring into the morning sky, leaving him alone on the plateau. The scroll he had carried was now blank, but it no longer mattered. It had fulfilled its purpose. Ashar began the long walk back toward the life he had left behind, but he was no longer the man he once was. He had faced his fears, confronted his past, and risen from the ashes of his old self. And as the desert winds carried him forward, he smiled, knowing that transformation is not found in avoiding the fire, but in walking through it with courage. And so, dear listener, remember this tale of Ashar, the scribe who followed the phoenix. For in life, there will always be shadows, but there will also be flames to guide you toward renewal. Your wings may feel heavy now, but one day you too will rise. Like the phoenix who soars, reborn from its ashes. Imagine the courage it takes to face your greatest fears and rise stronger than before. Like Ashar, your transformation begins with a single step. Believe in your power to change and join us for more stories that inspire renewal and hope. Subscribe now and start your journey today.